the most powerful storm to threaten East Asia this year has carved a devastating path across 3 nations, triggering a historic humanitarian evacuation and shutting down some of the continent's busiest economic hubs. After battering the outer islands of Japan and bringing transport to a total standstill across northern Taiwan, Typhoon Bavi struck eastern China's Zhejiang province on the night of the 11th of July, 2026, holding an immense, moisture-heavy rain band stretching nearly 1,000 kilometers from end to end, roughly equivalent to the size of France. The slow-moving powerhouse has now tracked northward, inundating northeastern China and testing regional infrastructure already weakened by weeks of deadly seasonal flooding. The disaster initially unfolded when Typhoon Bavi made its first mainland landfall at 23:20 local time on Saturday, the 11th of July, in the coastal city of Yuhuan, packing maximum sustained winds of 144 km per hour. Sweeping northwestward, the eye of the storm crossed into nearby Yuqing around midnight, ripping up roofs and toppling over 1,300 roadside trees across the municipality. While the core began to weaken into a subtropical depression as it interacted with a strong upper-level trough, its capacity for destruction remained severe. Coming immediately on the heels of torrential seasonal downpours that had already claimed lives across central China, the storm's massive atmospheric moisture reservoir has continued to pump catastrophic volumes of water directly inland. Faced with an unprecedented meteorological threat, Chinese authorities launched one of the largest preemptive evacuation operations in recent history, ultimately displacing over 2 million people across several provinces. Across the technological and manufacturing powerhouse of Zhejiang, more than 1.72 million residents were systematically moved out of low-lying areas and vulnerable coastal structures. As the system tracked further north, the emergency widened. In the northeastern province of Liaoning, intense flooding forced the emergency evacuation of more than 260,000 people. In the provincial capital of Shenyang, municipal authorities took the extraordinary step of suspending all schools, public transport, business operations, and industrial production to keep citizens safe. The logistics and transport fallout has been immense. Shanghai's Pudong and Hongqiao airports cancelled nearly 700 flights, whilst Hangzhou's Shaoshan International Airport was forced to ground over 320 flights. Major transport hubs across Zhejiang, Shanghai, and Liaoning suspended over 1,600 train services to prevent accidents on waterlogged tracks. In northeast China, flooded road networks and mudslides temporarily brought regional refined copper shipments to a complete standstill, disrupting raw material deliveries to local smelters. Before targeting mainland China, Bavi spent its early life tracking across the Pacific Ocean, where it explosively intensified into a Category 5 equivalent super typhoon, with winds peaking at a monstrous 285 km per hour. It made a historically violent landfall on the northern coast of Rota in the northern Mariana Islands before carving northwestward. As it curved towards the East China Sea, Bavi's outer bands hammered Japan's southern Sakishima island chain, cutting electricity to over 18,000 households in Okinawa and injuring dozens amidst flying debris and overturned vehicles. In Taiwan, where forecasters initially feared the largest direct hit in 3 decades, the storm's core fortunately skirted just to the north. However, the island was still subjected to a fierce lashing, with parts of northern Muley County receiving up to 80 centimeters of rain. Over 14,000 people were moved from mountainous areas, and more than 130 injuries were recorded, primarily motorbike accidents and slips due to extreme winds, though miraculously, no fatalities were reported. Despite the colossal scale of the storm, the human story emerging from the disaster is one of remarkable resilience. Across flooded towns, local community members and emergency crews have formed human chains to rescue stranded tourists and assist elderly residents in waterlogged neighborhoods. In northern Yuqing, while massive landslides sent boulders crashing onto mountain roads, local emergency teams deployed chainsaws and excavators in the pouring rain to keep vital rescue paths open. As meteorologists project the extreme rain bands to gradually ease, the focus across East Asia is shifting from survival to recovery. Millions of citizens are beginning the painstaking process of clearing debris and rebuilding their communities, demonstrating a quiet, collective determination to restore daily life in the wake of the year's most punishing storm.